Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. How many of you here, if you used to look around the room, would say, compared to everybody else, you live an extraordinary life? Hand up those of you who say you would. Okay? It's a split percentage. So therefore, the rest of you, if you don't have an extraordinary in your life, then you would probably say that your life is a very ordinary life. Well, that's very much where I was at. I felt my life was very ordinary, and I used to look at other people's life and think how extravagant and how exciting they are. I'd say, gee, I wish my life was as exciting as hers or his. But one thing I've learned is that those people are generally looking at your life and thinking exactly the same thing about their life. I wish my life was as exciting as his, the things he does. So I'm going to tell you about the very ordinary things that have happened in my life, and we'll go from there. But basically, the first very ordinary thing that happened was I was born on May the 30th, which happened to be my mother's birthday. My mother spent her birthday 27 years ago. You're going for that one. Okay, 37 years ago, giving birth to yours truly. Now, I think you're going to be better to do on your birthday, but my mother wasn't at all. So, shortly after my mother gave birth to me, my mother and father decided to separate and divorce. I'd like to point out to the cynics that the closest those two had no bearing on my arrival. But it did leave my mother the challenge of finding a role model, someone reliable, responsible, someone with a reputable reputation. So she married a magician and stage hypnotist called Peter. But I learned a lot from Peter. Look into my eyes, I know how my eyes are. For a second, you're all going to do the most amazing evaluations of my speech. 3, 2, 1, get back in the room. But when your dad's a magician, I mean, you have the most amazing birthday parties. Everybody in my class at school, throughout my whole school life, wanted to come to my birthday parties. I was that popular. Well, at least I thought it was that reason, but it wasn't the case. It was the fact they loved to see my dad stick my mum's head in a box, put swords through it, and then make her head disappear. Now I've grown up a bit, I can see my dad's attraction to that trick. But anyway, that's another thing. But anyway, my mum is still alive and well. She does have a little bit of a problem with fluids. But other than that, she's fine. But I learned my first success principle from my stepdad. See, before he went to present and do a magic show, wherever he went to do a show, he would disappear upstairs to prepare. When I say disappear upstairs, I don't mean in the physical term, just to try and make it clear. He'd disappear upstairs to prepare, and then he'd come down, load the car up, and then he would say goodbye to us kids. Took about half hour, there's a few of us. And then he would give my mum a kiss goodbye. My mum would always say, "Good luck, Peter." And he would say, "Luck? It's not luck, it's skill." My dad would say, "Oh, you're such a big head, Peter." And we grew up for years believing that he was a big head because of his boldness and his bigliness. But as we grew up, he said, "No," he said, "son, it's not luck, it is skill." He said, when you spend that long practicing, honing and perfecting and working on something that you do for a living or for a skill you want to do, when you develop it and hone it, he said, that's not luck, that's a skill. He said, if every time I put your mum's head in a box, put swords through it, I did it based on luck. He said, I'd be doing time by now. But I learned another skill growing up. I've got a wonderful older brother over there, the one with a smile and the sheepish look on his face. And he taught me a skill. He taught me the art of self-defence. Yeah. Not in the way you usually think, though. He was such a giving brother. He gave so much throughout my childhood. And one of the things he did is he created a game to help me with my self-defence. And this game was, some of you are aware of it, some of you aren't, but this game was called Sleeping Bag Boxing. The concept of the game was very good. It was a great adventure. And some of you might do it tonight when you get home, who knows? But the concept was, in the blue sleeping bag, weighing at 70 pounds, Ray Snow. And in the red sleeping bag, weighing at about 30 pounds, was Robert Snow. The concept of the game was you put a sleeping bag over your head, so the hole was at the bottom and the closed section at the top, and then you would box. Now the two challenges for that game is, one, you cannot see your opponent, and number two is that you can only punt within the vicinity of the sleeping bag. So we would wander around the room until we eventually found each other and made contact, and then we would box. Ladies and gentlemen, I got battered, bruised, beaten, and I never won one single game. I couldn't work out how his punches were so accurate, so precise. Until last Christmas. Never tell your kids your secrets. There we were at a Christmas party and his son came up to me and said, Uncle Rob, did you know, did you play sleeping bag boxing with my dad? I said, yes we did. He said, did you know that when you put your sleeping bag on, my dad took his off? I said, no I didn't. I was wandering around aimlessly and he was like Sugar Ray in the But there's a lesson to that. And I don't think it's a Toastmaster, because the one thing I've learned from that, there's an old saying, what you don't know won't hurt you. I can tell you from that incident that is not true. Not knowing it didn't mean it hurt any less. However, when we grew up, whatever it is, whether it's Toastmasters, whether it's business, whether it's life, when you go through life, there are things that happen to us that hurt us. There are things that happen to us that we have to grow with. And not knowing why things aren't going right for us doesn't make it hurt any less. Sometimes we have to unzip the sleeping bag and find out what it is before we can fix it. And it's the same with Toastmasters. When you're coming up to do a speech, you're going to go through different challenges, your first speech, your first table topics. But talking to people and getting the feedback and evaluations, you'll find out what it is. And from that, that's the way we grow and that's the way we move forward. So unzip your sleeping bags, take the jump, and enjoy the ride. Thank you.